Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna be going over, is one cycle worth it? Your boy's been getting in a little bit of trouble on TikTok because, well, long story short is this snowflake posted this video.
Is one cycle worth it? Absolutely not, because it's never just one cycle. Your body probably isn't used to holding that much weight after one cycle, so you're just gonna lose it all anyways. Odds are you don't know how to PCT correctly, which means that you're gonna look worse than when you were natty. And if you're struggling with your test levels to get back to normal, then you're probably gonna have some struggles getting it up. And that's not a fun spot to be in.
So I decided to make a rebuttal to that, saying you absolutely can do one cycle, and listed off a few reasons why you can do that cycle, and it started World War III on the internet. But I told you guys I'd always keep it real with you guys. I'd always keep it 100.
Yeah, keep it 100.
So today we're gonna be going over why you can do one cycle and how you can do that one cycle the safest as possible. Remember, I'm not a doctor and this is only for educational purposes. Do I think you should do one cycle? Absolutely not. But if you're gonna do it anyways, you might as well get as much information as possible. So let's roll the intro and get into it. Just because your low-minded, shitty genetics don't get you where you want to be, doesn't mean you need to hate on someone else because it could possibly get them where they want to be. That is the beautiful thing about fitness, guys, is we are all different. We have all different genetics. We have all different potentials. And if you can't get somewhere, that does not mean someone else can't. There is no real right or wrong answers, especially in the fitness world. But let's just talk about a general topic today and kind of the things that were said in this TikTok video. Now, this is probably the only point that I may be able to argue that is correct, that a lot of people do not have the right PCT information, and that is what he was saying. But bro, you're watching me right now. You're watching Greg Doucette. You're watching More Plates, More Dates. You are ready to make that jump, and you are doing your due diligence into getting either a coach or as much information on post-cycle therapy so that you don't lose any of your gains. I have faith in you, bro, that you are doing the right research, and I'm going to be going over my 4 tips for how to maintain your gains on your post-cycle therapy at the end of this video, so there's no if, ands, or buts. They went on to also say that you would always get addicted, that steroids are very addictive. The minute you do one cycle, there's no doubt that you're going to do another cycle. Man, I have hundreds of cases where this just isn't true. And another key point that they were saying is that there's no way that you can gain enough muscle mass from one cycle to even make it worth it. Now, bro, like I said before, you may have shitty genetics, but personally, when I was 18, I gained 22 pounds on my first cycle, and guess how much I maintained after that, coming to my PCT? Oh yeah, I gained 12 pounds of fucking muscle. That's 1 pound of muscle every goddamn week. And I'm not even a hyper responder to this stuff. There's people out there like Marcus Rule, Big Ramy, people from third world countries we don't even know about that are just monsters from this one cycle. Trust me, bro, I fucking know. So stop with all this bullshit that you can't gain enough muscle from one cycle. Now let's get into the nitty gritty, because this is the shit that I want to. Reasons why you could do one cycle only and it would be completely okay. Number 1, you want to test it. You want to see what's on the other side. Guys, you always want to see what's on the other side. You always want something more. We're humans. That is the way we are designed. That is why we are working out every day. We want to see how far we can push it. We want to see how far we can go. And sometimes when you want to deal with something that will give you more result, this piques your curiosity. Doing one cycle, you can easily see, okay, how did I respond to this? How were my side effects? Did I even like the way that it felt? Every time did I injected, did I get ridiculous muscular pain? Did I have anything weird happen to me on this cycle which would make me not want to do it again? Because guys, there are several people that have been so turned off of injecting that I know for a fact they've never done another steroid cycle. Guys, I know a lot of natural people because as a natural, you can get better year round. You don't need to fluctuate your diet. You don't need to fluctuate your training. You can literally get better 365 days a year. But when you're on steroids, you have to look at your year in periods now. Okay, I have a 3-month cycle, so I'm going to utilize my gains, utilize my results. But then for the next 3 months, you can't get better. You just have to try to maintain what you just gained. And a lot of people don't like structuring their year like that. So they've done one cycle and then realized, yo, this isn't for me. So they didn't do it again. And number 3 is the side effects. Did I get ridiculous acne? Did I get unwanted hair growth? Guys, do you know how many people I know that have done one steroid cycle, lost some of their hair, and have never touched that shit ever again because their hair means more to them than being a little extra juicy? These are 3 things that I could probably list off 10 people for each thing on they've done one steroid cycle. Number 2, they're just trying to look good for an event. You have a wedding with your wife coming up. You have your high school reunion. You have something that you just want to show everyone, whether it be superficial or not, that you're fucking it. You look good. You've been putting in work. You're big. Whatever the case may be. I've coached personally 4 people for weddings that just did a small steroid cycle to their wedding so they could look as good as they possibly could for their wedding and then never touch that shit again. This shit happens 24/7, guys. And then tip number 3, and this one also got a lot of hate, is you just want to get kind of like a Jeff Side Z's type look. And these people are like, bro, how stupid are you? You can't look like Z's after one cycle. You can't look like Jeff Side after one cycle. Bro, are you dumb or are you dumb? Legit. Jeff Side, I can guarantee you, was fucking more or less natural up until his Olympia debut. And maybe he did a cycle for his Olympia debut. Z's always kind of looked natural, and he just kind of put on a little bit more muscle and stayed a little bit leaner. A lot of you guys, well, Z's was on Clen. Motherfucker, Clen's not even a steroid, it's a fat burner. I highly doubt Ziz was taking these copious amounts of fucking testosterone every day because that is not the desired look they were going for. So for you to do a 12-week testosterone cycle and put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle, maintain 5 or 6 pounds of that for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years is not unrealistic. If you already have an amazing base, why do you think that doing a 12-week steroid cycle and then coming off steroids, you're gonna fucking lose all the muscle you just put on? You're not. That's your low-minded, shitty genetics talking once again. And not to mention, there are so many different steroid cycles. I'm not saying that you need to do a testosterone-only cycle. I'm not telling you to do an oral-only cycle because remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to do any of this at all. But do you know how many people have ran an Anavar-only cycle just once just to feel a little bit better? Do you know how many people, whether you're 17, 18, 19 years old, have run one SARM cycle just to see what it did and then never run SARMs again? These are still cycles. I'm not telling you need to go and inject testosterone for 12 weeks. Obviously, a testosterone-based cycle is going to give you the most and the most permanent results. But there are so many people that just do one oral-only cycle just to do it. And then they never do it again. So guys, you're taking way too many things out of this context and realize that everyone's different and some people just want to try things. Obviously, this is a PG channel, of course. But how many of you have done fucking cocaine once and then realized it was never free? Cocaine's probably a bad example because it's highly addictive. But how many of you guys have done a hard drug one time? How many times have you done a psychedelic drug, tripped fucking balls, and then you're like, yo, this isn't for me? Guys, steroids is no different from that. It's about living the human life. It's about trying things. It's about pushing things to the edge and trying to make the best decisions that you possibly can from the experiences that you gain in this world. So I just wanted to put this all out there because I can't make a long TikTok video, so I hope that some of these narrow-minded haters have a chance to watch this video and get some reality deemed into their tiny little brain. So let's get into the last point of this, which is post-cycle therapy. Now, PCT is going to be different for every single cycle, but we're going to go off the base right now of like a 12-week testosterone cycle. Because like I always say, guys, testosterone is produced naturally in your body, which means it's going to give you the most permanent results. So 12 weeks, if you were going to do anywhere from 350 to 500 milligrams of testosterone, because as you know, anything between 200 and 300 milligrams of testosterone is a waste of your fucking time if you are running a cycle. I'll do another video on that. You obviously just want to do 5,000 IUs of HCG. You want to do 1 week at 40 milligrams of Novadex, 1 week at 20 milligrams of Novadex, and if you want to throw in Clomid, you also can. I like to throw in all three, but with just doing a 12-week testosterone cycle, I would say that Clomid is not a necessity. Where a lot of people lose their gains is not from the PCT, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. You are losing your gains because of three main reasons. One, you're training too hard. You are just Superman. So why do you think that you can train like Superman when you're Clark Kent? A lot of people come off steroids and they think they need to train twice as hard because they don't have the added testosterone. Guys, if you're not synthesizing protein the same, if you are not recovering the same, how on earth are you supposed to train the same? Until your natural testosterone comes back into a natural limit, you need to be taking time off the gym. You need to be going in and doing a Brad and Chad workout 3 or 4 times a week, just getting a little bit of blood into the muscle until your testosterone levels come back to natural, and then you can start training like when you were natural. Number 2 is that you are eating like shit. I can attest that when you come off cycle and you have that dip of testosterone, you aren't in the best mental state. Mental state is controlled by you. Yes, obviously there's tons of things that go along with that. Obviously your serotonin, your oxytocin, your serotonin level, your oxytocin levels, your dopamine levels, all kind of relate around your testosterone level. So when you don't have much testosterone, all these other hormones are going to be out of whack. But just know, if you can keep a positive mental state for those 2 weeks and stay on a diet and stay eating clean and keep your protein high and not just be like, oh, I look like shit anyway, so then crush a bag of chips and under eat your protein so that whatever muscle you are breaking down, you aren't recovering, you are going to lose your gains. And number 3 is just the carelessness of, oh, I'm done cycle, I guess I can drink now, I guess I can party now, I guess I can just be a little more relaxed now. Just because you can't train as hard doesn't mean you just throw all of the things that you've been doing out the window. You need to stay on your supplement regime. You need to stay on your consistent daily routine. You are going to be the number 1 factor of retaining this muscle gain. And like I said, it doesn't have much to do with PCT. PCT is just how fast your hormones are going to get back to normal. Keeping your gains is going to be strategically dieting and training until those hormones get back to where they should be. So those are my tips, guys. Obviously, I don't recommend that you do any cycles, but there is nothing wrong with doing 1 cycle. Do what brings you fulfillment, be happy, lift each other up, and stay positive. So wrapping this video up here, we're gonna blast through some of these topics, guys, because this is absolutely getting ridiculous and someone needs to bring the truth to the internet. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you very soon for my next video.